Hi friends, my name is Mailynn and welcome back to my channel. I'm a flutist, performer, and music teacher located in the city of Kamloops, British Columbia. This is my channel where we learn all things flute, so thank you so much for joining me here today. As always, if you have any questions throughout the video, please feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. I do my best to answer them as soon as I see them, and also be sure to check out my free practice guide, also located in the description down below. It gives you 8 easy steps to follow to help you guide your practice sessions. In today's video, we'll be learning the famous song, a lot of people know it from Disney's Fantasia. It's called the Sorcerer's Apprentice. We'll be making it really nice and easy for beginners. So hopefully you enjoy this video, and if you do, make sure you press that like button so that you let me know that you do like it, and also to subscribe for more videos just like this. Alright, so let's just get right into today's video. So I am changing up the content for my Sunday today just because it is Halloween, so I do want to celebrate with an extra special song, and the Sorcerer's Apprentice reminds me of when I used to go to Disney, and there's one time that we went to Disney World during Halloween, so this reminded me of this piece, so that's why I'm going to teach it to you today. Alright, so if you do want to take a look at the original music that I'll be taking this excerpt from, it is from 8notes.com. There will be a link in the description there, so it's all free for you to download as well if you're interested in getting the original. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking the first flute there and putting it an octave down just to make it easier for beginners. However, if you are feeling ambitious and you want to put it the octave up, then you can definitely take a look at the original composition there, or original arrangement, I should say. Alright, so why don't I put up my little extract right over here. At the end of this video, I will be playing it with again, another 3 parts. It's going to be a 4-part accompaniment for you guys if you want to play along with me. Alright, so now that we have the music up, why don't we go through our first 6 starter bits before we get into the piece. So that first one is always going to be our key signature. So if you take a look between our treble clef and our time signature, we see that there aren't any accidentals there. So that should either recommend that we're in C major or A minor. So let's take a look throughout the piece to see if we have any indication of either of those key signatures. We always start with the first note and the last note. So generally speaking, the first note here, we do start on an A, but we don't end on an A. So the ending is a special ending. So that doesn't actually end in the key tonic, which is very interesting. So we start off on an A, so that would recommend, or it would kind of suggest that we're in A minor. So let's make sure that we go and see if we can find any of that raised 7th. Finding the raised 7th of the minor key, you're just going to go down 1 semitone from the tonic. So A, go down 1 semitone, that's G sharp. And then also, because I want to give you a little hint here, also look for the raised 6th, which would be the F sharp. So if we take a look at the first part primarily, we're going to see a lot of F sharps and a lot of G sharps, especially looking through that first line. Almost every single G that we play is sharp. So again, it is pretty much A minor throughout the entire piece until the end. It does end on an interesting chord there. It ends on an E minor chord, which is the 5th of the A minor key, but that's nothing too crazy to think about. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up that is what's happening with the key signature. So generally speaking, we are in A minor. That's all you really need to know. So number 2, we're going to look at our time signature. So this one is in 3/8, so 3/8 notes per measure. You can also pretend that you're reading it as if it was in 3/4, just pretending that each quarter note is an 8th note instead. So it's really simple. You still have that nice waltzy motion, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 that goes with it. But otherwise, just making sure that you understand that the first beat is the most important, so strong, weak, weak. Alright, number 3, we're going to be looking at our tempo indication. So we don't have one written on the top of the piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it at a nice moderate tempo here. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have my metronome set to a dotted quarter note, so that means every single beat 1 is going to equal 72 beats per minute. So it's going to be nice in between, so it's not going to be too fast or too slow. So if you do want to play it at a faster tempo, then what you can do is you can actually go back into the playback settings and either make it go faster by setting up that playback speed faster, or you can also alternatively make it slower as well by doing the same thing and setting it down to a slower tempo. Number 4, we're going to be looking at our dynamics. So we start on an MF, so that's a mezzo forte, and then essentially we don't have anything else written throughout the piece. So if you want to experiment as you're playing, maybe going up and down the lines with decrescendos and crescendos, it's completely up to you, so long as it is a nice, beautiful, full sound that you're playing with. Number 5, we're going to be looking at our articulation. So we do have essentially no articulation except staccato. So again, those are those little dots on top of the note heads. They just mean that they're going to be nice and detached. We don't want them to be too short because we definitely want to hear the quality of the sound of the note. So just making sure that they're detached. We do have a change though at bar 22, 23, and 24. We are playing those 4 bars slurred together. So we do have that change. And then also bar 25, we do have that slurred as well. But then at the end, it goes back to the same kind of articulation. Instead of just having that staccato, we do have another breath accent. So that means an extra to the note to give it a little extra push to make it a little bit more exciting. Otherwise, we're going to go to our last part, number 6 here, and that's going to be our roadmap. So that means we're going to see if we have any repeats or decapos or anything throughout this piece, and just at a quick glance, we don't have any. We're just going to be reading it from top to bottom. Okay, so making sure that because we are in the minor key, we want to make sure that we do pay attention to all the different notes that we have in here. So I'm going to do a quick recap of all of the notes starting from the lowest all the way up to the highest note. So again, you are reading this an octave lower. So our lowest note is going to be our low E. So just as a reminder, that fingering is going to be 1, 2, 3 on your left hand with the thumb in the back, 1, 2 on your right hand with the pinky. That's your low E. Then we are also going to be seeing an F natural, so all you're going to do is lift up your middle finger in your right hand, and then you're going to have the same fingering as E, and that's going to be your low F. So then we're going to have one more semitone above that, and that's the F sharp, like we mentioned earlier, that raised 6. So all you're going to do is you're going to switch your right hand here. This finger, your first finger is going to go switch to your 4th finger here, so that's going to sound like this. Everything else is still the same, 1, 2, 3, with your thumb in the back and your pinky. This is that F sharp. We are also going to see G natural, so then we're just going to lift up that 4th finger there, and then it's the same fingering otherwise, making sure you have your pinky down. That's going to be the low G. Next, for the G sharp, you're going to be adding just this little golf club here that's going to give you that G sharp, also known as A flat. Then what you're going to do for the A is you're going to just lift up those last 2 fingers on your left hand. So that's 4 and 5, and then everything else is the same. So 1, 2, thumb in the back, and the pinky here, that's going to be your A. And then we just have a B natural, so it's going to be your first finger here. You're going to also play your thumb lever, and then not the thumb lever, sorry, that's B flat, but just your lever here without the golf club, and then you're going to also play it with the right hand pinky, that's going to be B. And then we also have a nice C there, so it's the most open note. It's just going to be your first finger on the left and your pinky on the right. Next we have our D natural, so it's going to be exactly the opposite of C. So in your left hand it's going to be 2, 3 plus the thumb in the back, 1, 2, 3. Making sure you're not doing the pinky here. So this is D. Beautiful, and then we're going to look at one more note, and it's going to be D sharp. And all you're going to do is to add to that D is add your pinky down on your right hand, and that's going to be D sharp. Perfect, so that's just a little brief recap of the fingerings there. Of course, if you want to have a better visual, be sure to check my description. I do have a fingering chart in all of my videos that is easy for you to access there. Alright, so now that we have gone through all the notes in there, again, making sure that if you are looking at this piece, be sure to print it out and make note of any of those accidentals because they are a little bit tricky here. Let's do the clap and count. So again, I'm going to do it at my final tempo here. If it's too fast for you, always go back to those playback settings and play around with them until you don't make any mistakes. A dotted quarter note is going to equal 72. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, hopefully that made it a little bit easier for you. Again, if this is too fast, be sure to go and slow it down. Make sure I didn't clap the grace note in here, but we will be definitely playing that with the flute, so don't worry about that. It's just going to be a extra little added note, so it'll almost be like you're playing 2/16 there instead of seeing like the grace note 8th and then the extra added 8th. I am talking about the 4th blast bar, just in case you're not sure where I am. Alright, so now we're going to get into playing that with the flute. So again, making sure you take any notes, take it nice and slow where you don't make any mistakes, and then you can get into this. Okay, so again, I'm going to be playing here at a daughter quarter note equals 72. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Very nice. So I hope that you enjoyed playing that piece. Be sure to stick to the end if you want to hear the full flute quartet arrangement accompaniment part. Alright, so thank you so much for joining me here today. Again, happy Halloween for those who celebrate. If not, then I hope that you enjoyed this little break from our normal scheduled videos. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. I do my best to answer them as soon as I see them. And of course, please check out my free practice guide also if you're having any issues when it comes to practicing. And thank you so much for joining me here today. Happy Halloween! And as always, happy fluting!